Now say you walk into a big bookstore. You know, the kind you find in any mall. What do you see? Well, books. Tons and tons of them. A typical mega bookstore stocks well over 100,000 titles. Titles about everything you can imagine. And a lot of things you probably can't, like the art of, say, mushroom stuffing. Now let's say you surf over to a big online bookstore, like Amazon.com. What do you see there? Again, books. Lots and lots of them. Amazon has millions and millions of titles in its catalog. 100,000 in comics and graphic novels. 200,000 in home and garden. And over 2 million in history. You know, that's a lot of books. And the number, I have to tell you, is growing by leaps and bounds. Writers and publishers, who usually aren't very well paid, seem to be working overtime. Around 300,000 titles are published each year in the United States alone. That's about one new book for every 10 Americans. Now this sea of books is, if you like books, a truly great thing. You can read books about whatever you want, endlessly. But, of course, there's a rub. You've got to decide what to read. It's one thing to pick a book off your modest bookshelf at home. You probably only have a dozen or so titles, and none of them are about mushroom stuffing. It's quite another to choose one book among millions. How are you going to do it? You could read book reviews, but they usually don't tell you very much about what's inside the book. You could talk to your friends, but they may not read the kinds of books you do. You can ask the clerk at the bookstore, but ordinarily clerks just sell books. They don't know much about them. So choosing books to read is a problem. And I gotta tell you, it's not the only one, because once you've chosen a book, you've got to find some free time to read it. And I mean really free time. Time when you aren't doing anything else. You can watch TV and do something else, like iron your shirts. You can listen to the radio and do something else, like drive to work. But you cannot read and do anything else. Don't even try, because it's really dangerous. You might burn yourself on that iron or wreck your car. You see, reading takes up all of your attention, and therefore it requires really free, clear, open, and unencumbered time. And that, as you know, is precisely what you don't have. But think about this. What if you had experts? People who really know their stuff, making book recommendations to you. They look through the catalogs. They scan the stores. They search the web looking for good books. And once they found them, they send word of them your way. Now that would save you a load of time. And what if those experts then called the authors of the books they'd recommended to you and asked them to explain in simple, straightforward language what their books were about and why they were important, and then made these author interviews available 24/7 on the internet for free? That would save you additional time. And it might even give you something entertaining to listen to while you, say, ironed your shirts or drove to work. And what if, after listening to the interview, you could just click through and buy the book so as to read it on your own time? That would save you even more time, and it would give you something to do once you were done ironing and driving. Well, this is precisely what the New Books Network allows you to do. The New Books Network is a consortium of podcast channels about, you guessed it, new books. We've hired a large team of experts, professors, doctors, and lawyers, investors, scientists, and engineers, musicians, artists, and even a mathematician to look for good books, the kind you might want to read, and even should read, but can't find yourself. Our experts then interview the authors to find out what the books are about, what they say about what they're about, and why anybody should take the time to read them. The interviews get you inside the book without having to read it, which means you can make an informed decision about whether to invest your time in reading it. Now, the New Books Network has over 70 subject-specific channels: history, biology, law, everything you can think of, each with its own website and iTunes feed. Whatever you're interested in, you'll find it on the New Books Network, your gateway to smart reading.